Welcome back to another edition of EDFL Web TV. My name is Adem Saricaoglu and we're here at Windsor Hill today because finals football has arrived in SN4 Division 1 and Strathmore Community Bank Division 2. A big talking point this week is the return to finals football for the Jacana Football Club. Another finals comeback as well for Craigieburn, and I went down to Craigieburn on Tuesday night and had a chat to Peter Bugden. Let's find out what Peter had to say before Adem Russell and Claire Varley join the show to discuss all of this week's issues. We are here tonight at DS Aiken Reserve, the home of the Craigieburn Football Club, and they are back playing finals football in 2015. Peter Bugden joins me this week. Pete, 12 months ago, a club that barely survived relegation in SN4 Division 1, now playing off for a spot in the grand final. It's a good result for the footy club so far.
It is a good result, mate, and there's a big buzz around the football club with all three teams in the finals, and certainly from 3 wins and 13 losses to have 13 wins and 3 losses, yeah, we're happy with our work today, but we know the new season starts next Saturday.
Big turnaround after a disappointing game against West Meadows, let's be honest, 2 weeks ago. You came out, though, in the final home and away game on the weekend and gave Taylor's Lakes a bit of a touch-up, with a few guys out of the side as well. So you go into this game against Essendon Stars on Saturday with a bit of form.
Certainly we learn a lot, and you learn a lot out of your losses, and we've had 3 losses in the last 6 games. So we've learned a lot, we think, through those losses, and certainly on Saturday we get an opportunity against Duda Stars, who obviously we respect greatly as a football club and the team, to really take it up to them. They gave us a fair hiding last time around, and we weren't in the game for a very long period. And we lost Jay's Cloak through the course of the game as well. So, yeah, we're excited. Speaking
of Jay Cloak, he was the major in last week. We saw Cam kick, was it 14? A massive day for Cam, and Jason kicked a couple as well in his return from that cheekbone injury. The major out, though, was Nick Fletcher. So we're expecting all the big guns to be back in the side this week up at Greenvale.
We certainly are, mate. You just seen him walk into training, and he looked fine to me. It'll be great to have Nick out there, and we think we've got a pretty potent forward line when Nick's out there with Jason and Cam, so we're excited about that.
And just making sure Jace has pulled up okay, ready to go for a big finals campaign?
Jace pulled up fine after the game. Obviously, he did a bit of running whilst he was away with his facial injury, but he's up and about, and he had a really good game on Saturday, and we all know centre-half forward's a key position. To have him back into the team and filling that role for us was great.
Saturday at 2 p.m. it is going to be against Essendon Duda Stars. The winner will play in the SN4 Division 1 Grand Final at Windsor Hill in 3 weeks' time. Peter, good luck. Thanks for joining us tonight.
That was Adem Saricaoglu there with Peter Bugden, and now I am joined by Adem Russell here at Windsor Hill, the home of EDFL Finals football, and we are so excited to now be in finals and to have a bit of a talk about the weekend ahead. First up, Adem, how good is it to see Jacana back in the finals after such a long wait?
Yeah, Claire, it's definitely the feel-good story of the year. Jacana back in finals after almost a decade out, so good to see them back in the top 4.
How do you think they're going to go against Vale at Greenvale on Saturday?
Yeah, look, they'll probably go in underdogs up against a pretty strong Moonee Valley side. Jacana, they do get O'Rourke back and Chris Johnson, 3-time premiership player. Some much-needed experience there, and I think I might tip Jacana. I do like a fairy tale story, so I hope they get the win.
Who are you tipping for Hadfield and Roxburgh Park on Sunday?
Yeah, again, I think Hadfield, they should go in deserved favourites, and a lot of people will tip them going into this game. I think it's more of a 50-50 in my books. I've been very impressed by the Roxburgh Park unit so far this season. I think they might get the win, so another upset there for me.
I know that that was the hardest one to tip for the week this week. Because Roxburgh Park were the team that I sort of saw as they might actually win it, but then Hadfield, as we've seen, is such a force to be reckoned with. So I ended up tipping Hadfield, but I really do think, as you say, it could go either way, and I won't be surprised either way. Yeah,
well, last time we were there, we did see Roxburgh Park get the win, so I think they can take a bit of confidence out of that win over Hadfield.
Coburg Districts was the unlucky team that was squeezed out of the Final 4. How do you rate their year, as well as those of Keilor Park, East Sunbury and Burnside Heights?
Yeah, Coburg Districts made a prelim final last year, so they'll be a little bit disappointed to be squeezed out of finals. Possibly a little bit unlucky, but I think overall they will be disappointed. So I'm going to give them a D grade this season. Sorry, Coburg Districts. As for East Sunbury, they finished bottom of the ladder last year. They've gotten the 4 wins this year, so a pretty impressive season by East Sunbury when a lot of people expected them to finish bottom of the ladder, so I've given them a B. Keilor Park made finals last year, had a couple of players walk out. Overall, pretty disappointing season, so a D+ for them. And Burnside Heights, not too much to say about them. Just the one win this season, gone backwards from last year. So I've given them an F. Sorry, Burnside Heights. Pretty harsh analysis there, but that's how we like it on EDFL Web TV. We are harsh and we are realistic. So that's that.
Yeah, we're the harshest guys in the business, I would say, especially Adam Russell, who has come out of the box and proved himself as the tough one.
I'm a little bit cruel.
Wow. Okay, Craigieburn was back at their best against Taylor's Lakes. How will the Eagles go against Essendon Duda Stars on EDFL Match of the Day this Saturday?
Really looking forward to this game, Claire. Two sides I haven't seen this season, despite a fair bit of coverage on EDFL radio so far this season. Craigieburn, they'll take a lot of confidence out of the win on the weekend, and Cam Cloakey's slotted 14 goals, so a good performance by them on the weekend. But Dudas, we do know they're red-hot favourites for the premiership, so probably one of the more enticing games this weekend.
I'm really excited because I won't be there this Saturday, but I've actually seen them play both times the radio has been there this season. And it's as you say, it's another 50-50 game. I really think it can go either way because, as you say, Essendon Duda Stars are the premiership favourites, and I tipped them for the premiership at the start of the season. But Craigieburn have just proved themselves as such a force to be reckoned with. And as you say, they were back at full strength. So who's to know what's going to happen? I think it's going to be really exciting. So make sure you tune in. West Meadows let slip a 6-goal lead and barely got over the line against Hillside. Is this a bad sign going into their massive game against Tullamarine on EDFL's Sunday edition of Match of the Day?
Well, the West Meadows fans that made the trek out to Shark Park on the weekend, they were treated to an emphatic win by their team. With just a minute to go, Cam Truan took a big contested mark, slotted the goal, and then Tamar Abdallah slotted the winning point for them. So it is winning form going into finals, but Tullamarine, they are very impressive at the moment. They've got a 4-game winning streak. Scotty McAllister kicked another 3 goals on the weekend, so he's in good form for them. But the last team to beat Tullamarine was West Meadows, so I think they can take a bit of confidence out of that.
Is Oak Park simply unlucky, or were they genuinely just the 5th best team in Essendon Ford Division 1 this season?
Well, at times, Oak Park, they played some really good football this season, but they were quite up and down, a little bit unpredictable. They only have themselves to blame, the 2 draws there, when they only missed finals by 3%, so a little bit unlucky, but very happy to have Ben Chapman in with us on the EDFL Match of the Day radio. Hopefully you'll join us during finals. So although it's disappointing for Oak Park, we'll be very lucky to be treated to his presence in the commentary box.
Yeah, we're so looking forward to having him there for the finals. It's going to be really exciting and nice to have his wonderful opinion to add to the game. Adam, the toughest guy in the business, do you have a grade for Oak Park's season?
Look, Oak Park, some thought they might be battling relegation. They weren't. They were in contention for finals. So they were a little bit up and down. I'm going to give them a C+ for this season.
And then the season's also over for Taylor's Lakes, Hillside and East Keilor. Do you have a quick grade for each of those teams?
Taylor's Lakes, a few changes at the start of the season. Sam Tankard coming in. I've given them a C. Hillside, some predicted them to be a potential contender at the start of the season. Mainly the Chief. He did have a tip for Hillside possibly contending for the premiership, but you know, we did see them battling relegation, so I'm giving them a D. And East Keilor straight up and straight back for, in Division 2, so I think I'm going to give them a D-.
Wow, that's what we've come to expect from you, the hard truth. We saw Aberfeldy absolutely dominate Keilor on Saturday. What does Greenvale, Pascoe Vale and Keilor have to do to stop the Aberfeldy machine this year?
Well, Claire, quite honestly, I think there's only one team that can beat Aberfeldy this season, and it is Aberfeldy. Maybe the mental games might cause them a little bit of an issue, but overall, you know, they're such a dominant team at the moment. They've got a couple of injuries as well, which is a really scary thought. We know there was no Courtney Johns on the weekend. Luke Davis, he was tweeting us over in Adelaide, which was good to see, at EDFL Footy on Twitter. And Jacob Craven, he joined us in the box pre-game. So it was good to have a discussion with some of the Aberfeldy players. We had Kyle Reimers as well, best on ground, 6 goals. How emphatic was he?
He was absolutely excellent, and he came on after a head injury right at the end of the game, so really happy he could join us.
Keilor, they were pretty good on the weekend as well. It was a bit of a shootout at parts and pretty impressive. They did keep up with Aberfeldy for parts of the game, but overall a couple of silly free kicks gave away goals, and it really didn't help their cause. No Joyce as well, their captain, so definitely not full strength on the weekend, Keilor, and hopefully they can give it a bit of a shake once finals football comes around. The other contenders in Premier Division, Pascoe Vale and Greenvale, they had some shaky starts. They were both trailing at quarter time in their respective games, but in the end got the win. And, you know, winning form going into finals is the most important thing.
Definitely. Which of the 3 do you think could be the challenger to Aberfeldy if you were going to pick one?
Well, from what I've seen, I think Keeler on the weekend. We know Mick McGuan, he was in the box as well and had a bit of a chat to us, and I think just quietly he might have some sneaky cards to play up his sleeve. So once finals come around in Premier Division, I'm very happy and very looking forward to see what happens there.
I know, I'm so excited to see what's coming up in these next couple of weeks. It's a hard one to pick. Finally, do you have any upset picks for us in this final round of the home and away season of Premier Division?
Well, Claire, we've got 5 clear favourites. Strathmore come up against Aberfeldy in a grand final rematch, but I still think Abbas will get the win. A couple of those other final sides might look to rest players looking ahead to finals, but I think, as I said, the most important thing going to the finals is winning form, so probably don't see any of those finals teams losing.
And that's it for this edition of EDFL Web TV. Make sure to tune in on Saturday as usual on Northwest FM and Team App between 1:30 and 5:30 to hear us with the match of the day. But also for the next couple of weeks, we'll be on the same broadcast at Sunday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So you can get double the EDFL footy on the weekend, which is very exciting. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week. Enjoy your weekend at the footy.